Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really getting into a moment that changed everything for the Buddha's early community.
Yeah, a truly pivotal moment.
We're talking about an act of generosity that honestly laid the foundation for a whole spiritual tradition, the gift of the Voluvana, the bamboo grove.
hmm
And this wasn't just, a casual donation. It marked a massive shift.
It absolutely did. And what's so fascinating, I think, is how this single gift did more than just provide shelter. It really shifted the Sangha's identity.
How so?
Well, it took them from being sort of individual wanderers to becoming a more cohesive, almost institutionalized group.
Oh, okay.
So our mission today is really to explore that how the Vilavana gave them a physical footing, sure, but also this deep symbolic meaning.
That transition from wandering to settled.
Exactly. From nomadic life to a stable, organized structure, it helps you grasp, the origins of Buddhist monasteries as we understand them today. It wasn't always like that.
Right. Because before this gift, the Buddha and his followers, they live this incredible nomadic life. It's hard to picture, almost.
It really is.
Wandering ascetics, moving across ancient India, teaching as they went, sleeping outdoors, under trees, maybe in caves.
Taking shelter wherever they could find it.
It sounds very pure in a way. But the practical side, with more and more people joining, I can only imagine the challenge.
Oh, absolutely. The romantic image bumps up against reality pretty quickly.
Yeah.
While that nomadic lifestyle perfectly embodied, simplicity, non-attachment, core ideas, it made sustained communal practice extremely difficult. Think about gathering consistently for teachings or shared meditation or even just basic daily needs when you're always on the move. No fixed point.
So it wasn't just about, personal discomfort. It affected the community itself.
Precisely. And then you have the Vasa, the rainy retreat. 3 months long.
Right, the monsoon season.
Exactly. Travel became incredibly hard, sometimes just impossible. Everything turned to mud. Plus, there was the principle of not harming new life, like plants and insects, that thrived in the rains.
So they had to stay put.
They really needed a fixed place for that extended period. Otherwise, the community might scatter, struggle. It would jeopardize the continuity of their practice, their teaching.
It really makes you wonder, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you build an enduring community, a movement, without some kind of home base?
It raises that exact question. It seems detachment was key, but maybe too much wandering became its own kind of barrier.
A barrier to the mission itself. Interesting.
Precisely. And beyond just the Vasa, think about the lay community, the supporters.
Ah, right. People wanting to offer food or listen to teachings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How do they reliably find the Sangha if the monks are always moving? How do they offer support? How do they come for guidance?
So a permanent place wasn't just nice to have, it was becoming essential.
A practical, pressing need.
Yeah.
For stability, for transmitting the Dhamma, for growth, everything really.
Okay, so the stage is set, this need is clear, and then enters King Bimbisara, a major figure.
A very significant figure. The ruler of Magadha.
One of the big kingdoms back then.
Definitely. And his conversion to the Dhamma wasn't just personal. It was a public act with huge implications.
So he'd met the Buddha before.
Yes, and apparently made a promise that if the Buddha attained enlightenment, he'd offer his support. And he followed through.
Wow.
After his conversion, reports say he was just filled with joy and wanted to honor the Buddha in a really meaningful, practical way, not just symbolic. He saw the need.
So this wasn't just a whim. It was a thought-out act of support.
Absolutely. He invited the Buddha and the Sangha to stay at his royal park in Rajagaha.
And this park was...
The Voluvana, the bamboo grove.
Okay.
Picture it quiet, serene, full of bamboo, shady paths, maybe some ponds, just perfect for contemplation.
Sounds ideal. Peaceful, but accessible.
Exactly. Close enough to the city for lay followers to visit, but secluded enough for practice.
So what happened? Did he just say, here you go?
It was more formal than that, a real ceremony. King Bimbisara himself performed the transfer. He poured water from a golden vessel onto the Buddha's hands. That was the traditional way back then to signify an irrevocable gift, a public binding act.
Ah, okay. Very symbolic.
Very. And he declared something like, I give the bamboo grove to the Sangha with the Buddha at its head.
Wow. That's huge.
Yeah.
An immense act of dana, generosity, especially from a king.
Monumental. And here's where it gets really interesting. This wasn't just a gift. It basically established the blueprint, the very first model for Buddhist monasticism.
Wait, hang on. Not just one monastery, but the first. The template.
That's the significance, yes. The Veluvana became the first official Buddhist monastery, a secure, permanent home.
Game changer.
Totally. It meant a dedicated space for retreat, deep meditation, community meetings, and crucially for developing their practices and rules.
The Vinaya.
The monastic code. And equally vital, it gave the lay community a reliable place to connect with the Buddha and the monks.
Strengthening that connection.
Absolutely. It shifted everything towards stability and organization.
Okay, so the practical benefits are clear. Indispensable, really.
Yeah.
From wandering to having an actual institution.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's more, like a deeper spiritual, symbolic meaning here, too.
You're absolutely right. That's the core insight. It was way more than just shelter.
Right.
This was the first major act of royal patronage. Think about that. The king of Magadha, a powerhouse kingdom, publicly backing this new spiritual movement.
That sends a massive signal.
Undeniable. It basically screamed, this is legitimate, this is worthy of respect, pay attention. It gave the Dhamma instant credibility on a whole new scale.
So royal endorsement meant immediate gravitas.
Exactly. Credibility and a real foundation for growth. And it also cemented that relationship, the symbiotic one, between the lay community and the Sangha.
And give and take.
The Veluvana became a physical symbol of it. Lay people provide material support, the place itself, food, robes. Monks provide spiritual guidance, the Dhamma, mutual support made tangible.
That makes sense. And internally, for the monks themselves, having a stable base must have changed how they operated too.
Oh, profoundly. Especially during the Vasa, the rainy season. Having that stable home was crucial for deepening their communal practice.
Right, and you mentioned that earlier.
Imagine trying to systematically memorize all those long discourses while constantly moving, or develop a coherent set of rules for living together.
Almost impossible.
Pretty much. A fixed base like Veluvana allowed for that focused effort. Meticulous memorization, holding regular councils, hammering out the details of the Vinaya, the monastic code.
So the rules that govern monastic life even today, they started to really take shape there.
They were formalized and refined in these kinds of stable environments. It ensured consistency, harmony, proper conduct. That structure was essential for the Sangha's longevity, for making sure the Dhamma could be passed down effectively.
So Veluvana becomes this indispensable hub, a place where teachings didn't just, survive, but actually flourished.
Exactly. And we know many of the Buddha's most famous teachings, the core of the message, were delivered right there in the bamboo grove. It must have been a real center of spiritual energy.
A true epicenter.
It really was. And its legacy. Well, the Veluvana set the precedent. It was the original template.
The first of many.
The very first. It paved the way for that huge network of monasteries that eventually spread across Asia, from India, Southeast Asia, all over.
Incredible, all stemming from this one initial gift.
That single act of royal generosity establishing the Veluvana showed just how powerful a dedicated space could be for a spiritual movement's growth, its organization, its ability to last.
It's amazing how one act can ripple out like that.
Yeah.
But the whole idea of Buddhist monasticism really took root in this one specific place, thanks to one king's gift. Those ripples are still felt today, thousands of years later.
Absolutely. The story of the Veluvana is just. It's a timeless reminder, isn't it? How a simple act of generosity, if it comes from genuine devotion and meets a real need, can lay the groundwork for something truly profound, something lasting.
It's not just history, it's about the power of place and support.
Exactly.
Well, this has been quite the deep dive. We've gone from that challenging, wandering life to King Bimbisara's really transformative gift, and then explored just how huge the impact of the Veluvana was, practically, symbolically.
Giving the Sangha its first real home.
Yeah, cementing the lay connection, getting that royal stamp of approval, and setting the stage for monasticism itself.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this exploration.
It was a pleasure. And maybe a final thought for you listening. Consider where in your own life or in your community, maybe you've seen a single act of giving. Could be time, resources, even just space. Lay the foundation for something bigger.
Ah, that's a great question.
Maybe a community project, a club, a support group that started small, with one person's generosity providing that initial space. It's fascinating how places can become charged with meaning, right? Enduring symbols of community or spiritual values. Something to think about.